Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Monday. Tonight, we are taking a look at ticker META. You might know them better as Facebook or Meta. Meta Platforms Incorporated was founded in 2024 by Mark Zuckerberg, with the first office opening in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, they're publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $1 trillion. Yes, that's a T, trillion dollars. Meta is in the interactive media and services industry in the communication services sector. Wait a minute, that's interactive media and services industry in the communication services sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Meta Platforms Incorporated competitors are Alphabet, ticker GOOGL. You might know them better as Google, Snap, ticker SNAP, and Pinterest, ticker PINS. We're going to review Meta Platforms Incorporated earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put a FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday, following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time, with the U.S. market. Oh, guys, my throat. Please forgive me. Give me a second. I'm going to back up. And we are streaming Monday through Friday, following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange down. The link for, oh my gosh. Ooh, my throat killing me, but we got to get through it. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. Bam. There we go. Meta Platforms Incorporated, ticker symbol META, the $1.5 trillion company, reported its first quarter earnings on April 29th. They have a 52-week high of $796.25, which took place on August 15th, and a 52-week low of $520.26 that occurred on March 27th, which is a trading range of $275.99. And they closed today at $610.41. Meta Platforms Incorporated earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $56.3 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $55.9 billion, and beat on the bottom line as strong monetization across their family of apps and $8 billion income tax benefit offset higher AI infrastructure expenses. EPS was higher than the analyst and market expectations of $6.67 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $10.44. Meta Platforms Incorporated reported a GAAP net income of $26.8 billion, which was higher than the $16.6 billion net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 60.9%. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 37.8% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5:30 p.m. Eastern time conference call. As far as guidance, management expects oh my goodness. Oh, wait a minute. As far as guidance, management expects second quarter revenue between 58 billion and 61 billion, while significantly raising their full year capital expenditure outlook to support AI investments. That 52-week high compared to today's closing of $610.41 represents a decline of 23.3% over a span of approximately 9 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in August at that 52-week high of $796.82, oh, let me drink my tea, guys. Hold on one second. My throat is killing me. Oh, that's so much better. So if someone invested $1,000 in August at that 52-week high of $796.25, they would be seeing a loss of $233.39. All right, let's go here. Let's go here. Whew. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? To find those answers, we browse 4 key areas: the homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, investor relations for SEC filings, and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go back to Meta Platform Incorporated website to see what we got going on over here. All right, here we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and subscribe. I definitely would appreciate it, especially since I ain't got no voice tonight. Oh, okay. All right. Ooh, so we know Ray-Ban and paired up with Meta to get these glasses that people, some people don't like. They feel like it's an invasion of people's privacy because they don't know they're being recorded. I've heard people talk about that. So they have these VR goggles, virtual reality goggles, and things like that, and AI glasses. And they just, these earnings, people responded, or at least the market responded by the stock definitely going down compared to what it was prior to earnings. So we're scrolling down the home page to see what we can find as far as the goods and services, and we definitely can tell that they are heavily marketing these glasses and goggles. All right, so now we're at the bottom of the website, and I'm going to browse over the section to see what we can find. So right here is about Meta, so we're going to look there. We're going to look at company info, we're going to look at careers, and we're going to look at for investors. So everything we need that I'm interested in is right here. If you're looking for goods, for the goods that they have, you can scroll through here. And remember, the links for the websites are down in the description for your convenience. Okay, so I'm about to go to about Meta, and let's see if we can find some vision, mission, purpose statements, and all right there. Our mission: we're building the future of human connection. Let me see what happens if I click on that. Our mission: build the future of human connection and the technology that makes it possible. Got it. They talk about their principles. I'm glad I clicked on this. So our principles: Meta is building technology that connects you to people, interests, and experiences that matter to you. Okay, we see some photos here. They talk about their history. Okay, so Meta, I believe Meta purchased Instagram. Is that what this is? If I click on that. Oh, I like this website. I like how you click on it. Instagram acquisition is announced. Right. So Meta owns Instagram. So for those of you who are Facebook users or heavy Instagram users, you know that it's very easy to post on both of those platforms from one. And this is part of the reason why. It's the same. It's owned by the same company. So Meta Platforms owns Facebook and Instagram. And that's what we just talked about right there. I'm just chatting. I got to try to keep talking because really, I don't want to talk because of my throat, but I don't want you guys just. Did they buy Threads? Is that what this is? Let me click on that. Threads, a new text sharing app built by the Instagram team, launches. So that was something they launched within something that they already owned. So what's this? Meta, our new company brand, is introduced. That's when they switched from Facebook to Meta platforms, I believe. And what's this one? Workplace is introduced. So yeah, they launched a few different services and things like that. I didn't know. Do they own WhatsApp? Oh, they bought WhatsApp. So Meta is WhatsApp too. I thought somebody was trying to hack my account or something. I'm like, why they keep mentioning WhatsApp on my Facebook? Now I know why. They're promoting their own brand. It's another one of their things that they own. So that's good to know. All right, so we looked at this, we looked at it, but let's see if we have everything now. And I know I'm moving kind of fast as I'm scrolling. If it's something that caught your attention, remember the links are in the description for you to go over this on your own. Let's go to company info. You mean to tell me that's on the same page at the top? Okay, well, that was a waste of time. So let's go to careers and see if we can find some benefits. We want to find out how well they take care of their employees. And I'm glad I saw that move. So let me pause this so it won't keep moving while I'm attempting to read it. Meta careers, put your skills to work as we build for the future of AI today. Okay, view all jobs at Meta. So I'm blocking it. You can't see it right there. You can click that to view all jobs. My interest tonight and every night is to try to hunt down where they're hiding the benefits for the employees, and they zoomed us out. So hopefully this can help you see what we're working on better. And now I'm seeing these tabs at the top of the screen, but I'm going to scroll down just to give you guys a visual, whatever we're looking at. We're going to see if something jumps out of this. Maybe they mention the benefits on the page. Who knows? Let's just look. Okay. Some laughing students and grads. Love building Meta. This is a long scroll. Catch up with the latest news. Find your role. View jobs. All right. So let's go to the top and look over these tabs. So jobs. I'm looking to see when I mouse over these if they show the benefits. There it is. The websites are starting to get busy to be able to find, busy. The websites are starting to become a lot easier to find this stuff. When you go to careers, we can find it up under the tab somewhere. So let's go to benefits and see how detailed they are with giving the information away, because sometimes the companies are vague about what they offer. So benefits, resources for Meta employees. Our benefits offer flexible options to help you and your family reach your well-being goals. Learn more about our benefits. So it looks like they might be kind of vague, guys. Let me see if I click on it, if it just scrolls down or it changes it. So it goes to different ones. So let's see. Okay, so they do talk about what they get. I'm not taking no quiz. All right, so what you get: medical, dental, vision. So they go into details about this. So let's go to family care. What you get: paid leave for new parents. Can you see that? Yep. Okay. All right. Financial benefits. Yeah, let's see what that is. Competitive retirement plan. That's vague. Life insurance and survival support. That's kind of vague. Yeah, guys, this one of those ones that's vague. It looked like it's kind of long. It looks long. You get 2 paid choice days, 12 paid holidays, 21 days. So like, what paid is that? What paid days are those? So to me, this is vague. Like, they just giving you an idea of what you can expect to get. It looks like a lot, but when I'm reading it, it just seems vague to me. But they do offer the benefits. That's where you can find the benefits. So now let's go to investors relations. I don't see that, how we seen it before, even though this is about us. Let's see if we can go back, because I believe that looked different when I first seen it. Are we at the home page? I don't remember this being the home page. Let's just click here. Okay, this is the home page. Now we go down to the bottom. Bam. Could have sworn it said investors relation. Oh, it says for investors. Okay. All right. My bad. Here we go. Here's the website, bringing it over right now. It was a separate window. So here we go. Let's blow this up. All right. So for investors, blow this up. Zoom in. All right. There we go. So we're looking for the stock info, which I see, but we're going to scroll down and see how much information they have on this homepage. All right. Okay, that's what I see. Go to the top. Their brands are down here at the bottom. So WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger or Messages, Facebook, and the Meta brand. Okay, go to the top. So right here where it says stock info, we can see that they have different investment tools on their website, historical lookup, stock chart, and stock data. So we're going to go there. There's the stock quote. Here's the stock chart that they offer on their website and some more tools. So and they talk about analyst cover. Oh, that's analyst cover. I'm not interested in that. Well, you might. Remember, the link is down in the description for this website for your convenience. Let's go over to here. Let's cover this real quick. So let's talk about, before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders lose critical detail and advanced platform features on a mobile screen. So be advised, trading from a phone is usually the least effective way for managing your assets. To see every detail, use a full trading platform and watch these streams on a computer or TV. Only use a phone as a last resort. Now let's look at the charts for Meta, ticker META. Charles Schwab, Meta. This is not what we're looking at right now. I hate when I do this, META. And now we're going to go over to the charts. So we are looking at a 1-year daily chart for Meta platforms. And I have some technicals drew on this chart already, and I have no idea when I did it. But that's what we got going on. The price right now is this candle right here. So let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. Okay, I can see that the levels that I have are based off of some of this price action when we look at the weeks. It looks kind of off to me with the levels that I have on there. I have no idea why so let's put this, let's do a resistance. That's not even nowhere near where the price is right now. Since the price is in this zone right here, I'm going to focus on looking for levels above, like right above and right below. So I'm looking at this right now to try to see where I think support and resistance might be. Based on what happened right here, like it came down and started trending down, and we are still looking at the 10-year weekly chart. We just zoomed in. These 2 weeks didn't actually come down to this support area that I drew on the chart. But when I look back here, I can see, yeah, that line should be higher. So I'm just going to move this line up. This should be higher. So I'm just gonna move this line up. That's what I'm seeing support. Why won't let me move it? There we go. So we're gonna move that line up. That's gonna be my support. It's basically gonna be the low of this candle. So when I mouse over that low, it's $528.54. 500. So where I'm getting that information from is right up over here. But I'm gonna use the floating data box. So when I mouse over this candle, you can see what the low is. So the low is $528.54. $524. $524.54. I believe that's what I said. I'll double check it in a second. Low $528.54. $528.54. So that's how you get it precise, if that's what you want. If you want to get it exact, you go into edit properties and you can do it that way. So now when we look back, this looks like it's respecting this more than the line we had before, because it's touching the top of these candles over here. You can't see it because I'm blocking it. Let me take me off the screen. It's testing it here. It's testing it here. It's more candles are respecting that line when I moved it up. And then these price levels here came down to it. This first week did get below it and it closed slightly below it, but I'm going to use this candle here at the 528.54 because this stock is trading in the hundreds. It's not going to be like as accurate or as precise as a $10 stock, as a double-digit stock. Like when they start, the more digits they get, the less precise they are when they come to these support and resistance level anyway. It's more likely going to be a zone. From my experience, that's what I see. So right now, this is where Meta is trading at. It's trading below the 9-week simple moving average, but it's still above the 200-week simple moving average. So let's go over to the daily chart. You have a gap here. If we were to move this down, I put it on the bodies of the candles over here as support, because the one we just did was the 528. And it's gaps all around this level right here. And then it recently gapped down between these two candles here. So 529, the day that they had the earnings, following day. So on April 30th, it opened with a huge gap down. Guys, I apologize about my energy. My throat is killing me tonight. And it's throwing me off my game. It really is. We had a long, productive weekend. Got an interview in. And I just did not get a lot of rest. I'm doing my best to get through this. If I'm boring you, I feel you. I feel boring. I can't even lie. I feel boring doing this live stream because I just don't have the energy to be fun right now. I just don't. My throat bothering me. I mean, I showed up. That's the best I can get out of myself right now. I'm here. So forgive me. I'm usually funner than this, but tonight I ain't that fun. So yeah. So just tune in and watch the other ones. Just stick with me. So I'm looking at this gap that happened between the 29th and the 30th in April. Big gap that came down off of earnings. The crazy thing is when I'm looking at what happened with the earnings, that's why I keep telling you guys, the earnings can be good and the stock price can fall. Earnings can be bad and they can go up. It's just a narrative. It's more so about trying to determine what matters most to you. Is it the narrative or is it the fundamentals, like the actual numbers of what's going on with the company? And sometimes the stock itself can just be overvalued, or it could be other opportunities in the market. And because that extra volume comes in around earnings time, people take it as an opportunity to take their money out of that company and put it somewhere else in the market for where it seems to be a better opportunity that they recognize or found. So they just use it as an opportunity to be able to get out, just exit and go move that capital somewhere else, even if they do have great earnings or good earnings. Because these earnings were $10.40. The EPS was $10.44. And then we look at the last EPS or the last earnings, it was $8.88. And then when we go back further, it was $1.05. So earnings are increasing. It's a big jump from this one to this one. I have no idea why it was so big, but I know that 1044 is higher than 888. So earnings are definitely increasing and the stock price gap down. 1044 on EPS is higher than what it was over here. It had 888 and the stock went up. You see? So gotta look at what is happening in the overall market. It's not just as simple as just looking at one company. So let's get the stock quote for Meta. Okay, so we mouse over that. So Meta opened today at $607.93. They had a high of $614. They have a low of $602.75, and they closed today at $610.41, which was a trading range of $11.25. The trading volume for Meta today was 14.2 million shares traded today. So what we need to go do is look and determine what their average trading volume is when it's not earnings. Let's go over there and check that out. So take me off the screen, and we're gonna go right over here, take this floating data box off, and we're gonna look at the average trading volume. So the average trading volume for Meta is about 14.9 million. So let's just round it up. About 15 million shares are usually traded in a regular trading session. So we definitely had higher volume, but not by much, guys. That isn't really convincing to me. But I forgot. The earnings were on the 29th. So we're not even looking at the 29th volume. The earnings were on the 29th. So as far as the volume for that, the volume would be calculated the day after because they announced earnings the day after. So I'm saying this out of habit. Guys, the earnings volume is right here. I forgot the earnings weren't actually released today. They were released on the 29th after the market closed. So let me make sure I correct this and explain this. So that increased volume that I was discussing, it would show up right here. It would show up on the 30th because the next market session came after the earnings, which they announced after that session for that day closed. So to find out the volume for that day, I'm gonna cut my floating data box back on to be accurate for you, to let you know what's going on. So on that actual day, the volume was 52.7 million. So it was dramatically above average. It was definitely above average because average is 15 million, around 15 million on average. So that was like 3 times compared to what they usually do. It's more than 3 times, maybe 3.5 times what they usually do following that earnings announcement, that very next trading session. And now we can see that since then, the volume has been decreasing. So following that day, it was 21 million. And then today it was 16 million. So volume is dropping as the price is declining. That's what we see when we factor in the volume, okay? Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, the volume rank percentile is 73.8%, which means that out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 66 days had higher trading volume than today. So following earnings, the volume is decreasing, which is expected because it shoots up following earnings announcements. And if the earnings announcement is announced before the market open, that volume is usually on that day. But since the earnings were released after the market closed, that following session was reacting to the earnings. So that's what we were looking at there. So we covered that. Now we can move on to this. So let's go back to the main screen. All right. So prompter. Whew. All right, community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys would share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, that's not the right button. That's not the right button. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. If you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. Okay, now let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right, so let's go to the charts. We were looking at Meta, so we can take that off the screen. We want to switch that to Booyah, the SPY. And up here in the symbol box, we're going to type in SPY. That's the SPY. Okay. Looks like the SPY is having some trouble up here at these all-time highs. And today is Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. So we on Monday. The first day for this weekly candle. We're not really gonna see anything any different really for looking at the week, but I'm just gonna start off with the 10-year week. So this is a 10-year weekly chart, and it's bunched up because this is where we are now. So This candle is going to show up on the weekly chart as a whole week, but technically it's only Monday in that candle. So this red candle is going to look exactly the same as the daily candle for today, because it's only one candle. Now, as Tuesday comes and Wednesday comes and Thursday and all that, the weekly candle will start to take shape. It'll start to take shape. So today it looks like the SPY tested the 9 day simple moving average, this dashed green line. It looked like the wick came down and tested that as support right here. It didn't quite touch it, but it looked like it came down. So here's where it opened at the top of this candle body, came down to test it. Let me take you to the minute chart, because I realized that was really valuable to show you guys. This is extended out. These are extended hours. I'm going to zoom out, take the extended hours off. Nah, we don't need to do that. This is extended hours. So this is after 4 p.m. This is during 9:30 to 4 p.m. And this is in the morning. This is in the morning. Yes, this is in the morning. And this was yesterday. So what I'm showing you is that daily candle. The wick happened. That low we seen when it came down to test it happened in the middle of the day. This is where we are now. This is Monday's day candle, but we broke it down in minutes. That's why this looks so wild. So let me zoom in and take me off the screen so it'll be easier for you to see this. So when they open, when Meta opened, these are all minute candles. The stock went up first. Then in the middle of the trading session, it looked like it just tanked, just came straight down. And it came down to that 7. They so close together. This candle right here, it came down to $714.99. That was the low. That was the actual candle that produced the low for today. Let me take these extended hours off because this is driving me crazy. So what I did, I went to the settings. We're going to go to equities. And right here where it says show extended hours and hours trading session, uncheck that, click apply and okay. Now that grayed area is gone. This is going to look a lot cleaner. This section right here is today. You can see the date at the bottom of the screen. If I take this disclaimer off for a second, you'll definitely be able to see it. So let me take that off for a moment because I want you to be able to see that date. See how it's cleaner to be able to see that date down there? So Monday. So this is Friday from here to here, and this is Monday from here to here. I want you to be able to read that. So this is the Monday section. So this day candle that I'm talking to you about, put the disclaimer back up. It went up first. So here's where the high happened today, and here's where the low happened today. And then it recovered, but it closed around this area right here. So now we get an idea of how that candle was actually formed by looking at the minute chart. That's what we're doing. So now when we go back to the day chart, we know how this happened. It opened here, it went up, then it came all the way down here, and by the end of the day, it closed here. Now you know exactly how that candle moved because we used the minute chart to see that. So now we need to see what type of volume happened, and we are looking at a 1-year daily chart. Let me zoom in a little bit. We don't need all that space. And we know where our support zone and areas are. So it looked like it's using the 9-day simple moving average as support. We have our support zone here, and we have this high of $724.87 as our area of resistance. So we need to look at the volume. So when I look at the volume, let's do the floating data box. Let's do the quote for this ETF, and then we'll talk about the volume. So the SPY opened today at $720.07. They have a high of $722.12. They have a low of $714.99, and they closed today at $718.01, which was a trading range of $7.13. When we look at the volume, they traded 51.9 million shares of this ETF today. Now we're going to look at what they usually get when we look at the average label. So let me take me off the screen and also this floating data box. And thank you for sticking with me, whoever that is. I really appreciate you. So right here, the average trading volume, 75.8 million shares are what they trade on average. That's what they trade on average. So this definitely is below average today with the 51.9 million. And then if we look what they traded on Friday, it was 43 million. So the volume is increasing, but it's still below average. When we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 24 days had lower volume than today. So that's where we get the volume rank percentile is 9.5%. So the volume for today was only higher than 9.5% of the volume out of the most recent 252 trading days. That's what that means. All right, let's get into the thick of this live stream tonight. We more than halfway through it. Thank gosh. Let me get some more of my tea. It's probably cold by now, but let me get some of that. All right. So let's look at today's winners and losers. But first, we're going to take a look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. And I'm actually a little upset about what's going on with this, but I'll tell you about it as we get into it. So let's go back to the charts. And right over here, we're going to go to Market Watch. Matter of fact, I messed up before, so let me hide this. I don't want you to see this while I already feel like I ruined it at the beginning because I had something on the screen that kind of revealed something. We starting off with the loser, so I got it. Here's the loser. We take SPY off the screen. Getting a little better at making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Right now, the biggest loser for today out of the SPY, the S&P 500 index, is ticker UPS. Let's put them on the screen. Okay, you're going to learn some stuff today. I got some game to share with you today, okay? So UPS, the United Parcel Service Incorporated, is the biggest loser for today. Now, I can't prove it, but I'm going to tell you what my idea is about why this is happening. I'm going to share that with you after we go over these numbers. So they lost 10.47% today. The previous close, so they closed on Friday at $107.57. This is the previous close. Today, they closed at $96.31, which was a loss of 10.47%. So I'm going to pull up the calculator and we're going to use a random number. Let's say if somebody invested $400, how much of this would they have lost if they got that 10.47% loss? So we multiply this times 10.47, hit the percentage, and then hit equal. So that person would have lost $41.88 of their $400 investment. We negate this and add the $400 back to it, and it'll tell us how much money would they have left from their $400 investment. They would be left with $358.12. Okay, so we got that. Now, if you don't know, gas is super high. Okay, gas is crazy high. And this company needs to use gas to provide their services. Okay. So this cuts into their profits because it raises their operating costs. It's going to cost them more to do what they promised, what they offer to the market as being able to do as part of their services, delivering these packages or shipping these packages for you. You got the shipper, you got the receiver. So you got the trucks that use gas, and you got planes. So some people don't take that into consideration when it comes to and let's talk about this, because I done got excited. I got all into it, okay? But here's the thing. So ticker UPS, the United Parcel Service, is in the industrials sector. So the industrial sector deals with transportation. So as you start trading and investing and start looking at how these different industries and sectors work with one another, you can kind of get an idea about what industry or what sector would be affected by certain things. So if gas prices go up, transportation businesses or businesses that rely on fuel, they'll get hurt, because this makes it where everything they do becomes more expensive. And if they don't raise their prices, that means that what they're charging to offer their services will have to go more towards cost and less towards profit. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. So you have ride share, you got trucking. Oh man. Whew. I don't feel good, but we here. I'm trying everything that use gas, planes, trucks, cars. You take people places, you take packages places. You got shipping, transportation, logistics. That's going to be in the industrial sector. So we're going to go over here to Market Watch. We went to the Market Watch tab, and then we're going to go to Visualize, and I'm going to show you how we look at this. When we go over to Visualize, take me off the screen. Let me pull this over, and we're looking in the S&P 500. So we know that gas is expensive. So we want to look at the industries and see how they're being affected by this. So we know that transportation is in the industrials sector. All right. So in the industrial sector, we're going to break this open and we're going to look. Here it is, air freight and logistics. This is going to deal with transportation. I'm going to read over. Okay, then you have ground transportation. So that deals with gas as well. Then you have passenger airlines. And I don't know if you know, but let me just go back to the main screen. Spirit Airlines. Spirit Airlines, they need gas. And they went out of business this week. But I didn't know that Spirit. I did some more research because I talked about it in my interview. And I have a link for that down in the description. Spirit Airlines has already filed for bankruptcy twice. So while the news is portraying this thing like Spirit Airlines closed out of nowhere, that's some foolishness. They filed for bankruptcy twice recently. Like within the, I got time. I ain't feeling well anyway, and I already been messing up. I'm about to look right over here on the chart and give you the actual dates. I can do the work. About to just give you the actual dates. I hope y'all had a good day today. I did have a good weekend and I had a good day, but just I think I'm not feeling, because I'm not feeling well, that's why I've been so tired. But yeah, I've just been tired. So I'm just going to talk to you in chat while I look this up. So Spirit Airlines and their ticker symbol, we gonna get all of that right now. So what is Spirit, or was, because they went out of business. I don't even want to make it work. What was Spirit Airlines ticker, and when did they file bankruptcy? All right, so we're going to get this actual answer so I can go ahead and tell you. I ain't got to sit up here and try to remember off the top of my head. But I remember it was twice when I looked it up. And I think their ticker symbol is something weird, like fly is in it. Fly is in the ticker symbol, but we about to get all of that right now. And because I'm paying for this service, when you pay for the higher tier of AI, I don't know if you know, the free version is fast. But when you pay for it, it really does its due diligence and it takes a while. Okay, so that's what it was. So they filed bankruptcy twice. So they filed for bankruptcy in November 18, 2024, and they filed for bankruptcy August 29th, 2025. So you telling me that you didn't know this company was in trouble? and they didn't file for bankruptcy twice in the last 2 years. The news is saying it like it came out of nowhere. Like Spirit Airlines just closed their doors. Like even the company, even the customers could have known. This was public information. So the first time they filed bankruptcy, the ticker symbol was SAVEQ. The second time they filed bankruptcy, they got a new ticker symbol, and the ticker symbol was FLYYQ. So here's some game that some people probably haven't shared or haven't told you. If a ticker symbol has 5 letters in it, then usually it's an OTC, which means over the counter. It's a pink slip. It's a penny stock. And I looked it up earlier today. There's no hard actual number on it, but usually penny stocks fail. They got a range on it, 90 to 99% of the time. They're extremely risky. Get the research on it early. So most investors, amateur investors, retail traders, or they call us dumb money, they are attracted to the price of the investment instead of being attracted to whether or not it's a good investment. So they're looking at the hopes and idea, kind of like buying a lottery ticket. I'm gonna spend $1 to hit the lottery for $100 million, but the chances of winning is so low. It's like you guaranteed to just throw that dollar away you spent on a lottery ticket. That's an analogy of what it's like to try to hit it big, putting $100 on a penny stock. Their failure rate is 90 to 99%. And because it's so many of them, and it happens so often, that's why the range is so wide. Like that 9% from 90 to 99%, that 9% seems like a wide range, but it's a rough estimate because the calculation is kind of weird because of how many companies turn over with this penny stock thing. So I just wanted to share that. Spirit Airlines was already in trouble. Looks like they've been in trouble for 2 years. So they didn't just close their doors out of nowhere. Their employees should have already been looking for a job if they knew that the company they was working for was being traded on a penny stock and they had already filed for bankruptcy twice. It's a miracle that they had stayed in business as long as they did after doing that. Okay. So I did not want to show this, but I already did. Okay, so I ain't want to show this either. I ain't even had the stuff pulled back up. So here we go. So yeah. So we are looking, I wanted to look at these certain areas that depend on gas because I'm giving you some game about this. You want it, so if gas is getting high, we can start looking for, or people can start looking for opportunities in sectors or industries that depend on gas. So this one right here, see what I mean? So air freight and logistics, these planes and trucks use gas. They're all red. It ain't just UPS. Here's FedEx. They down 9% today. UPS down 10%. C.H. Robinson, they down 9%. Expeditors, they down 5%. That whole industry, yes, that's industries. So sectors would be industrials. So we're in the industrial sector, and we're looking at the air freight and logistics industry. So this whole industry is suffering from the high gas prices, right? But this ain't the only industry that depends on gas. So let's go down to ground transportation. When we go to ground transportation, wouldn't you know it, they're all red. So you got Uber, you got JB Hunt, Norfolk, Southern Corp. They hurting. So what's another one that depends on? Passenger airlines. Airlines. Didn't I just mention Spirit Airlines? Airlines. So here's United Airways. Here's Southwest. Here's Delta. They're hurting. Why? Because their operation costs are going up because gas is expensive. That's very powerful game right there I just gave you for free. So we go back to UPS. So it's not just these individual companies, guys, that we're looking at. They leave clues. In my interviews that I just did, I was sharing with you why I take you through these websites and I take you through this due diligence. I know that what I'm doing seems boring to you. And tonight I'm off my A game because I'm sick. But I promise you, I'm teaching valuable information over here that will help people, if they're paying attention, make make better educated decisions, your own educated decisions, because you'll be smarter about how this stuff works together, where to look, and to do your own research and your own due diligence. So yeah, let me take this off the screen and go over here and look at this. So we already know the name of the company, but here's where you can find it with the company profile. Here's their website, and the link for their website is also down in the description for your convenience. So let me read a little bit of this description to you. United Parcel Service Incorporated, a package delivery and logistics provider, offers transportation and delivery services. It operates through two segments: U.S. domestic package and international package. So they're not just delivering stuff inside the United States. That would be domestic. International is outside the United States. So they're delivering packages all over the world, and they need fuel for their planes and the transportation that they use. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. On the ground. So here's their official website. Let me put me back on the screen. Excuse me. So we know what their goods and services are. They deal with shipping and logistics, and they do it by air and they do it by ground. Products and services. You can go there, click on that. They talk about the different things: logistics services, tools, business solutions, things like that. The link for the website is down in the description for your convenience. So we're going to just scroll over this website, and then we're going to locate the areas that we're going to look for that we usually check out, like benefits, careers, things like that. Let me take me off the screen because it looks like I'm blocking it. So right here, we're going to go to About UPS, UPS Jobs. We might have to go to UPS Healthcare if we can't find benefits here, because this would be a benefit. And then we're looking for Investors Relations. I don't see it in this list. So maybe we can find investors information in the About UPS, but I'm still browsing to see if I can see it. Down here at the bottom, nope. I don't see anything on here about investing, guys. All right. Is it something at the top? Shipping, tracking, UPS store products and certain. Nope, I don't see it. All right, so let's go to About UPS. And of course, it opened up a whole nother window. So let me bring that over so you can see it. So here is that. Let me blow this up and blow that up, blow this up, zoom in, get to 150. All right, there it is, guys. We found investors. So it's on the About Us, or I don't even remember what we clicked, but it's here. We found it. All right, so here's our stories, our company. So they talk about the strategy, culture, history. I spent a lot of time on these other things tonight, so I'm gonna speed this up just to see what we can find. The number of employees here, the countries and territories that they deliver or offer their services to, the packages they deliver. They deliver over 20 million packages per day. That is crazy. 88.7 billion in 2025 revenue. You got, oh my gosh. Woo. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're not going to go to investors right now. Let's go to our company. Customer first, people led, innovation driven. Okay. Focused on the right strategy. So they repeat what we just read here. How a $100 loan started it all. Wow, that's what's up. So they talk about their story, leading the industry, connecting the world. Let me put me back on the screen. I ain't even on the screen. All right. I'm glad I looked up. Okay, so we talked about that. This is now they have investors here, but I believe it's that separate website. That's why investors is there. Because when we go back here, you see how it's not, well, I'm on the screen now. You see how it's not on this, but it was on the other page. So we talked about UPS and UPS. We didn't go to UPS Jobs or UPS Healthcare. So let's click UPS Jobs. This looks like a whole nother website again. So let me bring this over. This is UPS Jobs, guys. So let me bring it over and blow it up, get us situated. So boom, 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 zoom in, the 150 on. There we go. Close this out. Now, what I'm looking for are the benefits, and they're right there. So we looked earlier. So let's see if they're more transparent and more descriptive about the details of their benefits compared to what we seen earlier. Let's see if they are better with that. Targeted jobs. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So what I like so far, or what I seen, they disclosed the hiring process. I'm not going to click on that. The links are down in the description if you want to look through it. I said I was going to speed this up, so I'm not going to lie to you. Let's go to benefits and see what we can find. Ooh, this screen bright. Benefits and career advantages. Get what you need to succeed. Benefits of being a UPSer. These are just some of the perks. So that's telling me already they don't disclose everything on the website. So we're going to, that's vague. Competitive pay, retirement. Yeah, this is vague, guys. But they are telling you like where they are. Variety of work shifts, there's the adoption assistance. So they offer that as well. Discounted employee stock purchase plan. I like that. I like that. Education, tuition, and assistance programs. Okay. All right. So we see that. So we're going to go to the other website that talks about, where is that down here? The investors. So there it is. Investors. Let me blow this up and zoom in. So boom, zoom in, 2, 3. All right. So investors, view, reconciliation. I ain't seen that. So here's the stock information. They talk about the upcoming events. I want to see if they give us a chart on their website and any investment tools. UPS at a glance. I don't think I ever seen a UPS airplane. You see them trucks everywhere though. You see them trucks everywhere in the UPS stores. Okay. Can you click on this? The stock information? Nah, mouse over it. Here we go. Company profile. Nope, 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 nope. It looks like that's about as much information they give you stock wise. Don't look like they offer charts. So let's just go over to Thinkorswim and we can go ahead and start breaking this down. Here we go. And thank you for sticking with me. I'm telling you, thank you, whoever that is. Charts. All right. So I was interested in investing in UPS, and I did briefly. These, because I don't think we pulled up UPS during the live streams before. So I'm going to talk to you about why they caught my attention. UPS had did some layoffs around this time when they were trading in between $90 and $82. So this was like towards the end of 2025 when they caught my interest. If you notice this zone that I drew on the chart, the stock is moving sideways. It's trending sideways. It's not really going up, which would be this part, and it's not really going down, which would be this part. So when you see stocks trending sideways, and we are looking at a 1-year daily chart, they call that, oh my gosh, because it depends. Oh, I wish I knew. I can't think of the term right. Oh, that's right. Look it up. Consolidation. That's the word I'm looking for. They call it consolidation, but there's two different meanings behind it. I can remember the meanings, but I couldn't remember the general term for it. So when it's trending sideways, they call that consolidation. So with that consolidation happening, there's either one of these two things happening. It's either accumulation or distribution. Okay. Accumulation or distribution. So what I was looking at, I'm like, it's consolidating. So now I need to determine, is this distribution or is this accumulation? So distribution means that the smart money or institutions are selling the shares. They're getting rid of them before the price goes down. Accumulation means that the smart money or institutions are buying it. Okay, they're buying it before the stock goes up. So that's why I highlighted this zone. I'm like, this is distribution. Now I need to keep an eye on it and determine whether or not this is accumulation. I believed at that time that it was accumulation. I'm like, this is moving sideways too long. I believe that that smart money is buying this up. Institutions are buying this up. So I'm gonna get in on this. I actually made money on this trade, but I didn't hold it as far as it could have went up because I'm thinking trade instead of invest. I didn't sit in this trade long enough, but I'm just explaining to you what my thought process was. So if we go look at a 10-year, so here's a 10-year daily chart. A 10-year weekly chart. My apologies. So it's a 10-year weekly chart. So when we look at this 10-year time frame, look how high UPS was in 2022. So I'm looking at a weekly candle. The week of January 24th, 2022, UPS was trading at $233.72. And they just was coming down year after year, year after year. And all of a sudden right here, they start going sideways. This is why I look at higher time frames. They tell a better story than you looking at a minute chart, than looking at a minute chart and someone trying to day trade and just look at moves that's happening in minutes. When you look at a larger time frame, you get more of the story. So this was like the only time. Look, you don't see that. You see it here, and then it went up. So consolidation, was it accumulation or distribution? It was accumulation. Why? Because it went up. Over here, it was accumulation because it went up. Smart money was buying. Institution was buying. So they could hold it up here. Then when they get up here, they sell it to people that don't know no better because now they're waiting to buy it after it had already made the move up. And you see, like right after it makes the move up, it was slow to come down a little bit. Now remember, these are weeks. So smart money had 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to sell at these levels and get people to be losing money to drop once it dropped all the way back down here. So some people got trapped up here buying it over $115 a share, only for it to be trading now around $95. And this stuff happens all the time because people wait for the stock to actually move in a direction that presented an opportunity to try to figure out what the smart institutions are doing. This is when they were buying down here, weeks on end. Look how many weeks this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 2 months. 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 3 months. They had 3 months to buy it for less than $90. And guess what? During that time, what are they talking about on the news? UPS layoffs. This is a horrible investment. They're laying people off. Don't buy it. All the news was all negative. Shortly after that, the stock go up. Wouldn't you know it? They didn't want dumb money buying it. They call us dumb. So to keep us out of it, the news gonna be negative. Now, when they want to do the distribution, the news gonna be positive because they want us to come in and buy it and sell it to us because we goofy when it comes to listening to what they're telling us instead of being educated to make our own decisions. That's what we're supposed to be doing, being educated to make our own decisions. So let's go to the weekly chart. So I just want to explain to you what my thought process was about why I had bought it down here and tell you I didn't hold it long enough. I wish I had, but I didn't. But I just wanted to at least walk you through the thought process about why I bought it down here in this area. And now it's coming back down to the levels I had bought it before. Okay. And then when we look at the EPS is lower, but remember, it should be lower. Why? Gas prices went up. So the cost of them running their business is more expensive. So that's why the price, that's why their profits would become smaller because their costs has went up. That's just like you as an individual. If your bills go up and you don't get a raise, you're going to end up spending more of the money that you was making from the job, whatever your income is. If you only making let's just use these numbers just to make it simple. If you make $100 and your bills is $50 a month, I'm just going to use crazy low numbers just so you can see this. If the cost of your living now you got $50 left. But if your cost of living goes up to $80, now you only got $20 left. That's the same thing that happened with a company. If they don't raise their prices to their customers and gas prices go up, this eats into their profit. So that would explain why the EPS went down. That could be an explanation about why the EPS, the earnings per share, or their profits decreased, because the cost of running their business has went up. And gas prices fluctuate all the time. So they present different opportunities in the market, even investing in gas companies themselves. When gas prices go up, those stocks go up. When gas prices go down, usually those stocks go down. So just keep your eyes and ears open and do your research. Okay. Now, I talked about and gave away so much information with this. I'm just about to go ahead and do the stock quote. I'm not even doing no technicals on this, because we already have them drawn on there from when I told you what I was interested in when I had did it, when I was investing and trading in it. I traded in it because I didn't hold it for longer than a year. So UPS opened at $102.32. They had a high of $102.83. They had a low of $95.98, and they closed today at $96.31, which was a trading range of $6.85. And their trading volume for today was 18.5 million shares of this stock was traded today. So let's go over and look at the volume. So the average volume that they had today, let me take the floating data box off. Bam. Now take me off the screen. So the average volume for UPS that they trade in a trading session is 6.7 million shares. They did 18. So with them doing 18, that's 3 times. 6 times 3 is 18. What they usually get. So the volume was definitely higher than average. The day before was only 4.2 million. So that was lower than average. So we can definitely see the volume increased. And they didn't have earnings today. They had earnings on this date. So what date is that? 4/28. So UPS had earnings on 4/28. And it was before the market opened. Okay. So they reacted to that same day, because the trading session followed the announcement. That's what we see in there. So on a Monday, it just gapped down crazy, because this was the day that they announced their earnings. And the stock happened to go up for 3 days. So if today's Monday, this Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So that was Tuesday that they made the earnings announcement. Here's Monday. So they dropped on earnings. It went crazy right here. This is like, I think they call this a wicker man or something like that, because the wick is very long, but it basically opened and closed almost at the exact same price. So let me cut the floating data box on so we can get an idea of that. So we're looking at the open and close. The open was 103.99 and the close was 103.94. See, it was almost the same price. It was as if it did nothing, but the wick tells us how high and low it was. And it was almost like it didn't do nothing if you just compare the open and the close. So then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the price goes up and hits that area that I had drawn on the chart already. It came real close to it. Now, remember, we didn't draw any technicals tonight. Those lines are on here from when I was doing my technical analysis before. This day comes to test it. It failed, like it came really close, but it didn't even touch it. And then the very next day, it gapped all the way down and came here to the 200-day simple moving average. And it didn't hold that as support and closed below it on very high volume. So I know that people try to say that technical analysis is random. But from my experience, if you learn how to read these charts and you can get real close to where you can recognize where these areas are, it seems to respect it when I do it. It seems to respect it. This is old stuff. Remember, I ain't drawing nothing tonight. So that's that. We talked about that. We just talked about, so we did the volume. I believe so. I don't think we talked about the volume rank percentile. So the volume rank percentile, we did talk about the volume, was 98.4%, which means out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 4 days had more volume than today. I got distracted because I noticed that today wasn't even on earnings and they had crazy volume. Their earnings was last week on Tuesday. So we covered that. Let's go on to the biggest winner. So we go to analyze, nope, market watch. So we go to market watch, then we go to quotes. Then we hit this and we go to percentage change. Here we are. So here was the fun story I told you we was going to deal with when we talk about the biggest winner. So the biggest winner for today is ticker TSN. You might know them better as Tyson. Tyson Foods, chicken, meat. All right. Guys, I used to be invested in this company too. And it was killing me because I didn't understand at that time that each stock has its own behavior. Like different stocks behave different ways. So I don't know if you was watching that live stream, but the live stream we did where we covered Clorox, ticker symbol CLX. I was about to buy them. I was about to invest in Clorox, and my intuition told me from experience, don't buy them. And I'm like, why? It's like, because you don't know how this stock behave. You just looking at the fact that the price is at an attractive level right now based on what you're looking at, but it could fall further. Just watch it to learn how this stock behave. That was what I was thinking. That stock dropped $10 the very next day. So I'm glad I listened to myself about waiting to watch how that stock behaved. So I invested in Tyson and I didn't know how this stock behaved. And it just kept coming down. And then when it did make a recovery, it just didn't hold. It just kept coming down, which we'll talk about. So Tyson was the biggest winner today, and they went up by 7.96%. So let's break out the calculator. This is a long show tonight. So someone had invested, let's do the $1,000 thing again. Someone had invested $1,000 and they got that 7.96% return. They would have gained $79.60. That would be their ROI. Then we add the $1,000 back to it. And that brings us to $1,079.60. That would be how much the $1,000 grew to in total. Okay. So we have that. The previous close for Tyson, which was Friday, was $63.68. They closed today at $68.75. We have them selected. Let's go over here to analyze. When we go to analyze, we can see that Tyson is in the consumer staples sector. Now, here's some more free game since you're sticking with me. The consumer staples deal with food. Food has been beat down ever since Kennedy got in office with Trump. He's in charge of healthier food, like food and stuff like that. The food industry has just been getting beat down, beat down, beat down, beat down. I looked at Kraft. Hold on, let me show you. So let's go ahead and go to the market watch. When we go to visualize, now we're going to go to the consumer staple sector. Okay. We're going to drop that down and we're going to look for these industries. Food products. When we go to food products, Tyson is doing good. They was the winner today, right? But I'm telling you and sharing with you that if we look at these charts, we're going to see that Kraft Heinz has been beat down for a minute. McCormick beat down for a minute. Hormel beat down for a minute. Mondelez, I don't know about that one. Conagra beat down for a minute. Matter of fact, we got time. I'll pull them up on the chart so you can see what I'm talking about. So let me take Tyson off the screen. We're going to look at Conagra, and we're going to look at Kraft, KHC. So we go over to the charts. We're going to put in, oh, I forgot KHC. All right, here's Kraft Heinz. Now, based off what I just shared with you before, we're looking at the 10-year weekly chart. And then we talked about consolidation. We talked about accumulation distribution. Kraft used to be $97.77. In no way am I saying it's going to go back to that price. But in 2020, it was trading at $19.99. And then here, if we put this line here, it went to $44.95. If we round this off to 20, we know that 44 is higher than 40. So if you double 20 twice, we know that this was an over 100% return over a matter of like a year, a little over a year. If someone had got it at this $20 and got out at 40 or better, that would have been over 100% return. Then it hit it again. It looked like it hit it twice. And then since then, it's kind of been downtrending over time just by eyeballing it, right? So now we in 2025. And now when we look at the 1-year daily chart, we can see that now it seemed like it's starting to, what I talked to you about earlier, consolidate. So now if it seemed like it's starting to consolidate, it's my job, since I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do or you're going to do, you figure out what you're going to do yourself, is to determine, is this going to be accumulation or is this going to be distribution? Then after I make my decision for myself, I make my move. But I'm seeing that the food industry, which we just looked at, so we just looked at KHC, and we said we was going to look at Conagra. So now we come over here. Conagra is CAG. So now we go to the charts and type it in, CAG. Let's see how that's behaving. Let's go to the 1-year, well, the 10-year daily chart. And we can see this is the lowest it's been in over 10 years. So we looking at a 10-year weekly chart. Conagra was as high as $41.68. And they've been downtrending, basically. I'm looking at the overall trend. I'm not even counting this when it came up and tested the 200-week simple moving average. So at the beginning of 2023 to now. So what was that high? Let me put this line here. So that high was $41.30, and it came all the way down to $13.78. So it hit another 52-week low. So if we zoom in, this the week we looking at. And then remember, I just taught you this earlier. If this is a week candle and today's Monday, this is actually just one day within that week. That's what we're seeing right now with that 1378. So now when we go over to the daily chart, we can get a better view of what's going on. Now when we zoom in and we put this line here, it looked like the first time it came down to this area, this candle recovered. And then it got tested on the 9-day simple moving average. The next day, it got above it, but then it fell, closed below it. And then this candle came back down and made a new low. But this new low isn't too far below this candle. Let me drag this over. So now if I draw a zone, what's the low? What's the open on this candle? Yeah, the low. What's the low? Floating data box. The low on this candle is 1386. So we're going to draw a zone here. Then we're going to go to edit properties. So we need 1386 and 1378. We got it. Here it is, 1386 and 1378. That's that zone. So it came back down and tested that area. But it recovered there. And then today it closed just above, I zoomed out. It closed today. Zoom in some more. It closed today just inside that zone. Just inside it. So that close for today was 1385. And we know that the top of that zone that we just drew is 1386. It's 1 cent, guys. You see how close that is? It's just 1 cent. 1 cent. So that whole industry is beat down right now, but Tyson is starting to recover. We know that because they the winner today, and we just seen it. All right. So we can go cut the floating data box off. And now we go over to analyze, and we can finish this up. But we got Conagra up. So let's put Tyson back in. So Tyson Consumer Staples, we did some due diligence and looked at the sector to see how they perform. And now we got Tyson's Food Incorporated. We're looking at the company profile. Take me off the screen. So when we look over here, here's Tyson's website. Link for their website is down in the description for your convenience. So we're going to read a little bit of this description. Tyson Foods Incorporated, together with its subsidiaries, operates as a food company worldwide. It operates through 4 segments: beef, pork, chicken, and prepared foods. Now we're going to go to their website. And when we go over here to their website, you might be blown away to find out all of the different brands that Tyson owns. I know I was. When I went and figured it out and went, I was like, wow. I was blown away. Put me back on the screen. I'm pushing these buttons, guys, getting everything together. Here we go. So you go to the meat aisle and you thinking, oh, I don't like this company. I'm gonna go over here and use this one. You might be surprised. All that meat you was looking at was owned by, it was all Tyson. Just didn't have Tyson name on it because they own other names. So who we are. So we're going to talk about that. They hear their purpose and values. I love the fact that they have that. So we know we're going to look there. And I want to find where their brands are. So here are their brands. We're definitely going to look at the brands. So here's careers and there's investors. So we're going to look for the benefits when we go to careers, and then we're going to look at the charts. This almost going to be a 2-hour show. But anyway, they telling the brands right there. So let's just go to purpose and values. Okay. They have a video here. Link is in the description if you want to watch this video. Our strategy. So build brands, grow branded portfolio by innovating new occasions, categories, and channels. We are a world-class food company and recognized leader in protein. Grow globally, our core values, who we are, what we do. Here's another video. Did they zoom us out? No, they didn't. All right, that's 150. How we do it. From the beginning, our company has been built on faith, family, and hard work. That tradition, our core values, and doing what's right are deeply embedded in our culture. John Tyson, chairman. Culture of commitment. We need to have more dinners as a family, for real, for real. I really feel like we need to do that. We need to have more dinners as a family, as families. We need to fellowship more. This is something we need to do more often. So now we're going to go to brands because I don't like the fact they had kind of showed it already. All right, now look at this, guys. This is what I was talking about. So you just thinking Tyson, right? Tyson is Jimmy Dean. Tyson is Hillshire Farm. Tyson is Hillshire Snacking. Ballpark, Right Brand, State Fair, Adele's, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, IBP Trusted Experience. Sarah Lee is Tyson. Bosco's, this, oh, I ain't even gonna mess that up. You read that yourself. Big ass. Oh, that's vending machine food. Well, not vending machine food, but I've seen it in vending machines, like it's burgers. And I think I've seen it as like burgers and stuff. But yeah, all of these is Tyson. I thought it was another company, but I didn't see it. Not on this list. Okay, so there are their brands. And we said we're going to look at careers. So let's cover the careers. Explore jobs and career opportunities at Tyson's Foods, driving jobs, robotics. So these are the different departments that they have. They even got robotics and engineering and automation. So we definitely know that they're doing that now. And team member benefits and beyond. So here we go. So learn more about our benefits, and I'm blocking it. So let me take me off the screen, and then we can go over to the chart, the investor relations and then the charts. So this seems kind of vague. So they go into more details when you click on it. And here's that section right here. Here's the video if you want to watch it. 401k stock. So they allow stock and purchase plans. Okay. Families eating again, man. I'm gonna make sure I do this with my family and friends this summer. I'm gonna make sure that I do that often. I'm gonna try to get like 3 or 4 events in this year where we barbecue and get together and things like that and fellowship. Okay. So let's go to investors. So we're at investors. We're looking for the stock information and I don't see it. Let me put me back on the screen. At the top, investors, visit our investor site. That's what it is. They have a whole separate site for investing. So let me bring that over so you can see it, and we'll go to the charts, and I'm gonna give you some more game for sticking around. So we blow this up, blow that up, blow this up, zoom in because they got us zoomed out. This might look small to you. So here's Tyson stock price, of course. They talk about our purpose. We feed the world like family. Okay. All right. And then our mission, Tyson Foods is dedicated to bringing high quality food to every table in the world, safely, sustainably, and affordably, now and for future generations. I like that mission. It's full, it's descriptive, and it's not vague like some of the stuff we've seen. They talk about their brands here, et cetera, et cetera. So now we want to see if we can find, you can click on this, but right up here at the top, you got stock info. So quote and chart, and then they have other tools, and it looks like they pay dividends, but we'll confirm that when we look at the charts on Thinkorswim. So here we are with the stock quote information. Here's the chart they offer and other investment tools. Okay, so we're gonna go leave this site, and here we are back on Thinkorswim. We'll go to the charts. And this is a 1-year daily chart. Yes, absolutely. This is a 1-year daily chart. We got Tyson on the screen. Yes. So let's go back to the class, guys. Consolidation, right? Right there. Right there. Consolidation. Where is it again? Right over here. Now you can't see it because I'm on the screen, but I'm about to show you. Get me off the screen. Bam. Consolidation. Consolidation. Now let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. This is when I first started watching it. Consolidation. And I'm looking on a weekly chart. So Tyson was trading below $50 then. Consolidation. High, $100.72. Came down, down, started coming sideways. Consolidation. Then it started to recover. Trending down. Consolidation. Consolidation. Now it's trending up again. So now when we go to the 1-year daily chart, we back over here. We looked at the time frame, and here we go. As far as support and resistance, let's put some support there. We can see that it was tested a few times here. Boom. Tested here, came down, consolidation, found a floor or support. You can just do this, bam, bam, there's support at $50.56. After that consolidation, it started to come up, started trending up, broke right through the 200-day simple moving average. Then it started testing it, started riding it, act like it was going to come up, came back down, tested a second time, and then went up. And then right here, consolidation. But what did it do after this? It went down. So this would have been consolidation, distribution. Institutions selling the weak hands, come down. Consolidation, accumulation, they're buying, and the stock goes up. That's what I'm seeing when I look at that. So it's trading above the 200-day simple moving average. And now it's above the 200-day simple moving average, and it's above the 9-day simple moving average, which is this dashed green line. Now, if I use the top of that candle, let me zoom in. We still looking at it at a 1-year daily chart. The top of this wick right here, okay? The top of that wick is $66.41. So let's make this exact. $66.41. So we put that there, click OK. Now that's the very top, $66.41. We put it right there. That would be resistance. It would be resistance. Put me back on the screen. That would be resistance, right? But then you see how, boom, they have earnings. It shoot through that resistance, and it's above this consolidation distribution zone that was there before. But then it came down back to that area that we had drew as support using these candles over here. I'm blocking it. These candles over here was support and resistance. It was resistance. Once the price gets above it, it becomes support. Notice how after the distribution, consolidation distribution, it comes down all the way there to test that area and then trends back up, and then it has another consolidation. But this time, this consolidation is slightly lower than this one. And then comes dip down first, and then boom, shoots up. Shot right through the area of resistance, the resistance line from the previous consolidation. And now it's up here at $68.81. So that's the technical analysis. And we dove really deep on that one. So let's just go ahead and do our stock quote, talk about our volume, and wrap this up. So let's zoom in. All right. So Tyson opened today at $65.22. They had a high of $68.81. Let's do this again where you can see me. Tyson opened today at $65.22. They had a high of $68.81. They had a low of $62.05, and they closed today at $68.75, which was a trading range of $6.76. The trading volume for today was 6.2 million shares of this stock sold today or traded today. Because if somebody sold it, somebody bought it. So we're going to say traded today. Now, they had earnings, remember? And usually they have higher trading volume on earnings. So that 6.2 million, if that's considered high, we definitely need to find out what the average trading volume is for this stock. So when we look over here at my label, I'm going to take this floating data box off. We can see that the average trading volume is 2.9. So roughly 3 million shares in the trading session is what they get on average. So they doubled that. They had doubled that on earnings. And this stock also pays dividends. We can see it right here. The last time they paid dividends, it was 51 cents per share. The previous volume they had the day before earnings was 3.8 million shares were traded, which was above average. So the volume is increasing and both above average. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile was 98.4%. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 98.4% of those days. If we want to be specific, only 4 days had higher volume than today out of the most recent 252 trading days. Guys, I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to pat myself on the back because not only was I not feeling well to do the show tonight, I done did 2 shows, I did a show and a half because it's 12:30. Thank you so much for sticking around. Whoever's still watching right now. And if you're watching this back, appreciate you for watching this stream. So let me do my closing and my announcements, and I'm going to let you go for tonight. You already know. I hope that you learned something and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I've done 2 interviews with up-and-coming content creator Tiara Owens, sharing how I got started in investing in the stock market, my profits and losses, and the link to that playlist of interviews are down in the description. And make sure you tune in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care and God bless.